back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Hi, my name is Sophie from over on Instagram at A Diary of a New Mum. Today is a bit of a sit down vlog. It's been a while, guys, because various different reasons. A good tradesman never blames its tools, but in this case it definitely was the tools. But I thought I have found a way around it. I hadn't, but now I think I have found a way around it. So without further ado, this vlog today is going to be 10 things that I wish people had told me before I became a mum. Now guys, I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty brutal, but it's not here to scare you or anything like that. It is purely what I wish I'd known. People just don't talk about. So yeah, let's get into it. Number one. Now, I'm gonna go out there and say this is probably the most brutal one. There are a couple of close contenders, I'm not gonna lie. But number one, I have got, not everyone will care that you are pregnant or have a new baby or a toddler or a child. Now, I found this quite hard, guys. I thought that people would all come rushing in when they found out I was pregnant or when the baby had arrived, and honestly that's not the case. Not everyone's gonna care. Everyone else's worlds stay exactly the same. Their days, their routines, everything just kind of stays the same for them. It doesn't change. But for you, your whole world just flips upside down, and to be quite frank, you don't know who to talk to. It's an interesting one, I'm not gonna lie, it is an interesting one, and you do find out who your real friends are. But yeah, like our friends, they don't have kids and that's fine, that's their choice, we've got no problem with that, but their lives have continued the way they've always been. They've always been able to go out at the drop of a hat and, you know, not had any real responsibilities. And I guess my husband found it harder than I did in that respect, because he feels like he's lost a group of friends. He hasn't, they are still there, like they do text each other, but he used to go out with them like once, twice a week, even if it was just for like a pint or a chat or a kick around on the field to catch up, you know. So I think it has actually affected my husband probably worse than it has affected me, but I just feel like nobody will tell you that not everyone's gonna care. You kind of expect everyone to love a new baby. It's so exciting. Everyone loves a baby. Not everyone does. Not everyone really cares about babies. Not everyone, you know, shares the same opinions. Yeah, so that is my number one. Number two, people, so this is the flip side of number one, people will feel entitled to your baby. Yeah. They will feel entitled to your baby, whether that is a grandparent, a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, you know, all of that kind of stuff. They will feel entitled to your baby. They don't feel entitled to have cuddles whenever they want to have cuddles. They will feel entitled to pick them up and walk away when they're crying. They think they're doing you a favour, but they're not. And we had a couple of instances where Rosie would be crying, and I mean, she was like 1 or 2 months old at the time, so she wasn't an older baby by any means, and she wasn't she was a newborn actually, yeah, she was. Where people would, if she was crying, they wouldn't give her back to me, they'd walk off with her. And that is probably the worst feeling in the world, when someone is walking off with your child and you know they need something, or you know you need them as well. It is a two-way road, and postpartum is a journey, and I think people don't respect that. And bear in mind, these are people who have had children in the past, who I'm talking about. I was a bit shocked when we had to sit down and have a conversation about, like, not just taking the baby and walking off. Yeah, we were at a family gathering once and someone decided to literally just take Rosie out of my arms and walk off with her. Didn't say anything to me, literally took her out of my arms, walked off with her. Like, it honestly, it blew my mind that people think, family members think that this is okay, you know, that people won't, I guess what I'm trying to say is people won't take your feelings into consideration. They won't. They just get overwhelmed. Oh, there's a new baby. Yeah, let's cuddle it. But they don't really think about how you might feel, how the effects of what they're doing might affect someone else. So that is, I found that one, personally, I found that one the most brutal. So people feeling entitled to your child, say no, stand your ground, ladies. Number 3 is help will only come from those who care. Now, there's help and then there's helping but making situations worse, okay? There's a fine line between the two. Not everyone's gonna help you. Not everyone's, if they come around when the baby's born, they're not gonna help you. They're gonna want cuddles with the baby. And I remember sitting there and I had someone around at the time and I sort of thought, oh, I've got all this to do. Like, I need a break. I just need to sit down and have a cup of coffee. And I thought, do you know what? I'm actually gonna ask them if they can make me a cup of coffee. And they got insulted that I asked them to make me a cup of coffee. Yes, in my own home, but like, I just had a baby. I think she was like 4 or 5 days old at the time. And I just felt completely overwhelmed. Bill had to go pop out for something. And she was there and I thought, would you mind just making me a cup of coffee, please? And just kind of gobsmacked that I'd actually asked her to make me a cup of coffee. Yeah, I wish that people would think a little bit more about that and about, actually, it's not just about the baby. My friend or my sister or my cousin or whoever, my niece, my nephew, they're in this more than the baby is. The baby is there. This is their world. They don't know any different. Mum and dad, this has flipped their whole world upside down and put sprinkles on top of it for the hell of it, it feels like. Number 4. Now, number 4 is quite a personal one for me, but I think it is important to share these things because, yes, they're not talked about. This is the whole point of this video. Number 4 is you may not feel the instant love or bond that people talk about when the baby's born. Now, when Rosie was born, I didn't get that rush of love. And I was really disappointed because I thought, oh, like, what's wrong with me? Why am I not feeling this overwhelming sense of love that everyone talks about? It's in the movies. You know, where is it? Why aren't I getting it? But then after talking to a few people, after having her, it's quite normal not to feel that rush of love. You've never met this baby before. This baby is a human being. They're a person. You have never ever met them before. And you wouldn't walk up to a stranger and feel a rush of love. But yet, it's expected that you do with a newborn baby. She came out, she didn't look anything like I thought she would. She looked completely different. She had jet black hair. I mean, she's bright blonde hair now, but she had jet black hair. She didn't look anything like I thought she would look. And, you know, I didn't get that rush of love, and that's okay. That is absolutely fine. You will get it. You absolutely will, but Rome wasn't built in a day, guys, and people don't talk about that. They just don't. So yeah, that is a really, really good one actually, because that took me back and I thought long and hard about whether or not to put it into this video. But I love my daughter so much, so much. Feeling that at birth hasn't changed that. Like, if I would have felt it at birth and if I felt it now, I don't think it would have had an effect on how we are now. So, yeah. That feeling sometimes doesn't happen, or I don't know if people do get that feeling, or if it's just something they say because it's in the movies and they feel bad if they don't say it. But yeah, that's a big one. Number 5. Visitors will be limited. Not everyone will come and meet your new bundle of joy. I have touched on this in another one. But yeah, not everyone's going to want to come round. And I kind of expected everyone to anyway, but they didn't. Yeah, visitors will be limited, and not everyone will want to come and meet your baby. I didn't understand this because I have always loved babies. Like, I love children. I work with children for a living. But also, even though I hadn't had children before Rosie, I did understand that sometimes the mum might actually need you for support. They might actually want to see you. They might actually want you to just have a normal conversation, not about the baby. That is a big thing. Like, having a conversation that doesn't involve talking about the baby, or about your birth journey, or about your pregnancy, or about if you want any more kids. Oh my goodness, the amount of people that asked me if I would have any more when she was days old, guys. It was insane. Please don't ask people, if you're watching this and you've got a friend or a family member who's about to have a baby, please do not ask them when they are going to have another child. You don't know their situation, and they might not feel comfortable discussing it, and you might make them feel incredibly awkward, and in turn you'll make yourself feel awkward. Number 6. Being a new mum can play out so different to what you had imagined, and accepting that can be very hard. Yeah, so I thought, you have this image in your head of going to like baby groups, going out for coffee with friends that you've made at baby group because you're all in a situation together. No guys. I took her to baby groups, but unfortunately the people at baby groups already had their friendship groups because they'd already have kids before. And to be honest with you, I didn't have time to bless myself, let alone go out for a coffee. I think a few times I went out with my mum for a coffee, just to sort of get out of the house. But guys, don't put pressure on yourself to live up to what you think your life is going to look like as a new mum. Like, I'm laughing now because I'm thinking, how ridiculous. Like, what was I thinking to think that I'm going to be able to go out shopping or go and get coffee or really enjoy my maternity leave as a holiday? It's not a holiday. It is not a holiday. And yes, it is a very special time. No, it's not a break. Number 7. This is an interesting one, and this is one that I have actually collected from a few friends who have helped me out with these questions. Thanks, guys. After your final health visitor appointment, you're pretty much on your own until the 1-year check unless you contact them. No one checks in on you. Now, that's shocking, but it's true. When your child, or your baby, has had their final health visitor appointment, I can't remember if it's like 12 weeks or however old they are, that's it. No one will ask you if you're okay. No one will be around to check on you. No one will be sending you messages or letters or emails, or I didn't expect them to anyway, but when you're in the deepest depths of new motherhood, like, I would have appreciated someone with some kind of medical qualification to come and check on us, because yeah, I mean, we ended up in A&E because I took her to the doctors, but the problem is GPs are so generically trained. They're trained in everything. They're incredible people. They're so talented and clever. However, they can't be good at everything. They don't specialise in everything. So the health visitors, they specialise in infants and young children. I would really have appreciated that extra support from a health visitor at that time. I wouldn't have had to have gone to the GP. We wouldn't have ended up in A&E for the wrong reason, because they didn't understand what we were saying. So yeah, I think that is another harsh reality, but just ask, like, ring them up and ask. Ring them up and ask. You probably won't get an answer straight away, leave a voicemail. If they don't call you back, leave another voicemail. If they don't call you back, go to the centre and ask for an appointment. I didn't do that. I regret that a lot, because I feel like if I'd have made that appointment, my life would have been so much easier. So much easier. I wouldn't have been worrying as much, you know, like developmental. Like Rosie, I'm very fortunate that, you know, Rosie is beyond what she is, where she's supposed to be, but that can plateau out, that can reverse, you know. Children develop, especially infants, develop at completely different rates. Some develop really quickly to start with and then slip back into line. Some develop quickly to start with and slip behind. Some develop slowly at their own pace, but slow and steady wins the race. You know, it's just, I just would have really appreciated the reassurance from them. The reassurance, guys. That's what I'm going to call it, the reassurance. Number 8. Your birth journey probably won't be anything like you planned. Yeah. I did a birth plan expecting it to be a plan. Nah, it's not. It's a preferences. Let's call it the preferences, like they do in hypnobirthing. Like, it is a preference, your birth plan. Doesn't mean you're gonna get it. I certainly didn't get anything on there. I had an unmedicated, apart from Gassinet, I had an unmedicated birth. That was the only thing I got. I didn't get my water birth, I didn't get the birth centre, I got induced, I didn't want to get induced. But that's all okay. At the end of the day, I know it's not what you wanted, but you're gonna meet your baby at the end of it, and you want to be able to meet them healthy and safely, for you and for them. But yeah, birth preferences, not plans. Number 9. Doctors may pressure, this is a good one actually, because this links into one before. Doctors pressure you into decisions you don't know enough about, like being induced, if they are expecting a high number of babies to be born around the same time so they can plan. Yeah, okay. So doctors may pressure you into decisions you don't know enough about, like being induced, if they know they're expecting a high amount of babies to be born at the same time. I had this. So I went for an appointment at, I think it was 36 weeks, and they were like, well, we're going to keep you induced today. And I was like, why? Like, there's nothing wrong. Why do I need to be induced today? I asked for the facts, and this is one thing I am really proud of myself for doing. Oh, well, you know, for the safety, I think we should just get you in and induce you. I said, well, what's wrong? Is there anything wrong? No, your blood pressure's high, but like, it's fine. Like, nothing's going to happen. Right, okay, well, what's the statistics if I don't? What percentage will something bad happen if I don't come in now and have an induction now? If I wait it out for a couple of days and keep monitoring my blood pressure and keep going to the midwife and getting it monitored there as well. Oh, well, you know, it's a really low percentage, but it's still a percentage. Right, okay, but there'll be a percentage anyway, right? Yeah. So you ask the questions. I ended up getting induced 10 days late in the end, but I was fortunate that I was 10 days late. I wasn't late when she was born. They found out like she still had something on her skin, which basically babies who are born early will have it on their skin, and babies who are born on time, well, more so late, won't have this stuff on their skin. I can't remember what it was called for the life of me. I'd have to ask Bill, but they basically said you are really lucky you didn't go for an induction when they suggested you going for an induction, because that baby would have been really early. So yeah, just ask for the facts, ask for the statistics. They see hundreds of women every week. They, you know, they're busy. NHS hospitals are busy. They're understaffed, they're underpaid, they're overworked. Anything they can do to make their lives easier, they're going to do, and I don't blame them for that. It's an incredible, incredible hospital that I went to, and I'm so fortunate that we have that NHS hospital on our doorstep, and I'm very, very grateful. but just ask for the statistics and the facts and make your own choice, your own decision. Don't let people influence your decision. Number 10, we're at the end. This is probably incredibly boring, guys. I'm really sorry. I'm still getting used to this whole YouTube kind of stuff, but we're getting there, guys. Number 10, you may have to give birth in a completely different hospital if they close due to being too busy. This almost happened to me, okay? If they are expecting a high amount of babies to be born, they will fill the ward up with ladies that are getting induced or whatever. Once that ward is full, they cannot take any more ladies on because they need enough doctors, they need enough neonatal nurses, they need enough midwives, they need all of those things to line up. It's a chain. If there's not enough staff in NICU, they can't deliver the amount of babies. They have to deliver to the amount of staff in NICU. If they can't deliver to that amount, they can't have as many ladies being induced. They can't have as many ladies being induced, they can't have any walk-ins. It's very complicated. However, it's the state of the NHS at the moment, and it's really super sad to see that because it is such an incredible thing to have free healthcare. But yeah, you could end up at a different hospital. You could, and my cousin actually got diverted from a hospital that she was supposed to be going to a completely different hospital because they had to close because they didn't have enough space. So just bear that in mind. Don't get your head completely set on a certain hospital because that can really, really throw your birth journey off. Like, you need the oxytocin flowing, guys. Need the oxytocin flowing, and getting stressed is not gonna help. So that was my top 10 most brutal things that nobody tells you before you become a mum and go through pregnancy and birth and then bringing up a little baby. They shouldn't scare you at all, but I just wish I'd known about them before. I just wish people had given me a heads up, like as a friend or, you know, whoever. So I hope you enjoyed this video today, guys. I would super duper appreciate it if you could subscribe because I am trying to grow my base on here and trying to help some more people out. I am a professional nanny, so I will be sharing some tips and some tricks and things that nannies don't want you to know. Sorry, nannies. Yeah, so give us a like, a subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And come over on Instagram and join us. We're really friendly. We don't bite, I promise. See you later.